Dateline, Chengdu, 806 AD. We interrupt your regular programming for a groundbreaking development. Merchants in Chengdu are using paper instead of heavy strings of coins. Local officials issue these paper notes as receipts for deposited coins, a promise that the paper can be exchanged for real money at any time. They call it flying money, as light as a feather, able to travel hundreds of miles. The Chinese economy is booming, but copper coins are heavy and hard to transport. Merchants in Sichuan, far from the capital, struggle to move coins over mountains and rivers. Their solution deposit shops accept coins and issue paper certificates called jiaozi as IOUs. These notes can be used to pay other merchants who trust the same shop. It's safer, lighter, and more efficient. A private innovation that sparks a financial revolution. For the first time, value is captured on paper, not in metal. The paper itself isn't valuable. It's the promise behind it that matters. This system requires trust. Farmers, blacksmiths, and merchants all have to believe in the value of the note. It's a delicate web of confidence, but for now, it's working. The government hasn't stepped in yet, but the idea is spreading. Could this be the future of commerce? Only time will tell, but the world is watching. The age of paper money has begun. Flying money started as a private workaround, not official currency. Only merchants who trusted the issuing deposit houses would accept it. Think of it like a regional gift card. The notes flew across China, making trade faster and easier. Long-distance deals that took weeks now closed in days. But the system had flaws. If a deposit shop failed, its notes became worthless. Fraud was a risk. Shops could issue more notes than they had coins. The government saw both the promise and the danger. In 1024, the Song dynasty took control, shutting down private shops and issuing official paper money. These government notes, called jiaozi, became legal tender, backed by state reserves. For the first time, paper money was standardized and regulated. The world's first government-backed currency was born. A new era in finance had arrived. Government-backed paper money was a sensation. People were freed from hauling heavy coins. Now, a single note could equal 1,000 coins. The notes were beautifully printed, with intricate designs and official seals to prevent counterfeiting. Warnings against forgery were clear. All counterfeiters will be decapitated. Trust in the notes was crucial, so the government used high-quality printing and set expiration dates. Notes had to be exchanged every few years, allowing officials to control the money supply. Metal reserves backed the paper, so anyone could exchange notes for coins. Shopping, paying taxes, and doing business became easier and faster. More people joined the economy, and commerce flourished. The system seemed perfect, convenient, secure, and efficient. For a time, paper money felt like a magical invention. But would it last? With stable paper money, the Song economy soared. Merchants expanded, cities grew, and industries like silk and porcelain thrived. The Grand Canal bustled with trade, all fueled by paper notes. The government collected taxes more efficiently and could fund projects by printing money within limits. This financial flexibility supported a powerful army, scientific advances, and a flourishing art scene. Foreign visitors like Marco Polo marveled at China's paper money, a concept unknown in Europe. To outsiders, China seemed to live in the financial future. For a time, prosperity and innovation reigned, but beneath the surface, new risks were emerging. The Golden Age carried the seeds of its own downfall. Wars and public works strained government finances. Instead of raising taxes, officials turned to the printing press, quietly issuing more notes. At first, the effects were subtle, a little inflation, a few more notes in circulation. But soon, the government stopped tracking how much money was out there. Old and new notes circulated together, and the money supply ballooned. The promise that paper was as good as gold became a lie. Inflation crept in, Prices rose and each note bought less. The temptation to print money proved irresistible. Short-term fixes led to long-term disaster. The system's careful balance was lost. The printing press, once a tool of progress, became a source of chaos. The stage was set for collapse. As printing accelerated, inflation exploded. Prices doubled, then quadrupled. People rushed to spend notes before they lost more value. Savings evaporated. A farmer's earnings became worthless overnight. Barter returned as trust in paper money vanished. Long-distance trade collapsed. No one wanted to be paid in rapidly devaluing notes. In the worst years, people needed a cartload of banknotes for a loaf of bread. Sometimes the notes were worth more as firewood than as money. This was hyperinflation, one of history's most destructive forces. It destroyed savings, shattered trust, and brought society to the brink. The invention meant to make life easier now made everyone poorer. The economy ground to a halt. The nightmare of uncontrolled money printing was real. The dream of paper money had become a disaster. The collapse was ultimately a collapse of trust. The government's promise to back paper money was broken. People's life savings vanished. Soldiers and officials lost faith. Corruption spread, and social unrest grew. Desperate, the government issued new notes and banned gold, silver, and barter, but no one believed them. Trust, once lost, was impossible to restore. The Song dynasty was weakened from within, making it easy prey for the Mongols. When Kublai Khan's armies arrived, China was already hollowed out by economic disaster. The world's first experiment with paper money ended in catastrophe. The lesson: a currency is only as strong as the trust behind it. The cost of failure was the fall of a dynasty. The Mongols' Yuan Dynasty inherited a broken system. At first, they managed paper money with discipline, creating a new currency, the Chow. Trade flourished across the vast empire, and Marco Polo was amazed. But old temptations returned. Wars and grand projects drained the treasury. The government printed more notes, abandoned silver backing, and inflation returned. By the mid-1300s, hyperinflation struck again. Prices soared, rebellions erupted, and the government lost control. The Yuan dynasty collapsed under the weight of its own currency crisis. The Ming dynasty abolished paper money, returning to silver. The cycle of innovation and disaster was complete. The lesson was clear, but would it be remembered? China's invention of paper money is a timeless lesson about trust and power. Money's value comes from collective belief, not the material it's made from. When governments print money without real backing, they steal value from everyone. History repeats. Weimar Germany, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, all fell to the same temptation. The power to create money demands discipline and restraint. A stable currency is the foundation of prosperity. The story of flying money is a warning for every age. Next time you use cash or a card, remember the Tang merchants and Song emperors. Their innovation changed the world, and their mistakes still echo today. The lesson is worth a fortune. Trust is the true currency.